interviews today. Next up is Mavin Saunders, Kansas State. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. You can go and scoot up, make yourself comfortable, make sure the folks can hear you. But we are at CGS. It's technically day 2. There was a free agent event yesterday. But for you guys, the college seniors, this is day 1. This is make an impression. And you are dressed to impress, my man. You are probably the next best dressed to me, which is saying something. Is that a personal thing? Like you wanted to just be that guy that looked his best on a day like today?
Yes, sir. I mean, this is you're getting job interview. I mean, if I show up at a job interview in any profession, I'm not going to just show up in a hoodie and shorts. So I thought I would just sport a sporting coat and some jeans, and just to show the scouts that I'm very interested in being a part of their business. So.
And it's so interesting to talk to you guys and get the different perspectives of what you guys are about to do, which is go interview with NFL scouts. So I kind of like being before them. I can get you guys a little loose, have a little fun. But each one of them has their own sort of mentality going into this. There's some that, they want to go in there and they want to make a statement by basically selling themselves as like, I've been overlooked, like you can't risk not drafting me. And they want to do that verbally, or they want to do that on the field tomorrow and the next day. You took a moment to assess your appearance. So you feel like that's an important thing, being interviewed for something that is everything but. It's your skill set out there.
Yes, sir. I mean, my in college, I mean, I was always, academics meant the world to me. I graduated in 3.5 years. So I always operated as I'm a business, even from a freshman. So, I mean, I wanted to look the part in this job interview that we have, that CGS has blessed us with, and that's just how I operated my 4 years here. I just always wanted to be a businessman. I have a whole lot of plans and stuff like that, some very, very interesting stuff I'm trying to accomplish in my life, and you have to look the part. Like you said, first impression is a very important impression. A lot of these scouts have never seen me or know. Some of them might know who I am, but a lot of them haven't had the opportunity to talk to me or anything like that, because it's at the schools I was at, I wasn't doing interviews every day after practice or whatever. So this is my first impression to them, and I wanted to make sure that I left a positive impression on them. So.
That's really refreshing, man, I got to say, because, there's a lot of stuff that guys will sidestep in here because they feel like it's less important. But for you to play college football, to excel in academics and present yourself professionally and to have a business mindset, I mean, it's like you have done your homework. You want to make sure that there's nothing that's going to catch you off guard when they start asking you questions. Now, of course, that's not to say that the shock value questions won't still catch you off guard, because I've heard a few of them, and it's odd. But for you to have that, I think is great as far as the future of the NFL, where they pretty much just write enormous checks to guys to go out and play a game. And that's not to insult football at all, but I know a lot of players, and there's very few that present themselves in the categories that you have today, just right now. So it's great, man. I really appreciate that. And for you, this morning you had some seminars. I imagine for a man like you, with the mindset that you have, the financial one was probably something that you were just, I don't know if you were jotting down notes or you were just locked in, but.
I have a notebook. I have some great notes that I gained a lot of knowledge in those 3-4 meetings that we had this morning. The financial advisor, like you said, it was really important to me. As a college athlete, you hear about agent, and today I felt that a financial advisor was really stressed upon us and how important they are.
Yeah.
And the statistic that showed from the Sports Illustrated that showed that 79% go broke. I mean, I don't want to be a part of that statistic. You know what I mean? So, financial advisors are really important. I'm currently right now trying to formulate a plan to be I can find somebody that would be able to steer me in the right directions with investments and steer me in the right direction with marketing and stuff like that to help me out in this process. So
yeah, you don't want to be that guy that's doing used car commercials for your hometown, after a few years in the big time. So like I said, refreshing to hear, and I think that a lot of you guys come into this for several reasons. Exposure, maybe add a little bit more credibility to your name. You want to have another thing on your resume or whatever you call it going forward. But it is, we're just after a new year, and bowl season just wrapped up. I mean, we haven't even had the championship yet, and we will while you guys are here. And then it's onward. You guys are going to have your pro days. There's going to be scouts, agent meetings, and then the combine, and then the draft. So you clearly feel that you are someone that can contribute at that next level, or else you wouldn't be here. But what brought you here? What made you think that it's going to be right after the new year? This is a good move for me because you're a businessman.
Yeah, like you said, businessman. So just getting out of college, you have to network. Networking has been stressed to me is very important, and I understand how important that is. I mean, get to meet guys like you. Maybe I want to be on radio one day, and I get to say, you know what, I got to have an interview, and this is one of my first time interviewing with someone. So just getting the experience, just meeting all these people that has played in the league that I want to play in. Just picking their minds, picking their brains, and being able to talk to advertisers like KT Tape and all the new strength and conditioning stuff that's out there. I mean, this is a complete blessing. This is a blessing. I mean, I'm from the Bahamas, so we don't get exposed to things like this free, pretty much. so anytime I have a chance to take advantage of anything, I try to do that, and I give God all the glory, man. I'm so blessed to be here, and this has been a great day and a half. Only thing we wish we had that TV that we talked about earlier so I could watch that game. But other than that, this has been a great experience, and I look forward to performing on the field tomorrow in front of the scouts and doing the interviews. And this is the whole thing. It's not just playing is important. Playing is obviously the most important, but you have to. Your parents matters. Who you are as a person matters because they're not accepting people that's going to cause problems in the league anymore. I mean, there's a lot of problems, and they want good men first, and that's what my parents are always instill in me. I don't care how good you are on and off, on the field. Make sure you're a good person off the field, and make sure you treat people with respect and treat women with respect, and always be respectful. So,
amen, man. Well, I gotta say it's been just a treat to talk with you. I couldn't place your accent, and then you said the Bahamas. I mean, Bahamas. God, man, there is so much that we could talk about. I'm trying to give everybody kind of equal time. So, I mean, make me this deal. If you make it to a team, whether it's through the draft or undrafted and free agency, you got to come back and got to talk to me. We can talk so much more stuff, man.
I'm willing to do it, man.
I bet you've got a journey, man.
Yeah, it's a long story. It's a book that's coming out pretty soon. So.
Oh, nice, man. All right, well, hey, man, we'll do this again, but you go in there and you crush it. It's been a pleasure.
No problem. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. All right, Fan Nation, next up here from Fort Worth, Texas for the College Gridiron Showcase is Deshawnte Lloyd of New Mexico State. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Just kind of taking us all in. Just blessed to be here. Now,
you're kind of a smaller school, and it's not a knock to you, but I imagine that an event like this, to be surrounded by fellow players and peers that are all in the same, you're in the same group, but, you have, like, Alabama, and then you have, like, your smaller schools. Like, is that something that's kind of been, like, a humbling experience for you, that you guys are kind of all on the same playing field right now?
Yeah, I never really got into the school name and the jerseys or anything like that. I always went by, we lace them up the same.
Yeah.
You put your left leg in first, I put my right leg in first. I never really paid attention to the names.
What brings you to CGS?
I came, just to get exposure. Unfortunately, I was cut off my season due to a meniscus.
Oh, man. I'm sorry about that.
But I was just happy to be here. I just really came for the exposure. I only played 5 games this year.
Now, you guys have several events coming up next several days. You guys are going to interview with NFL scouts, and then you guys had some seminars this morning, and then you guys are going to get to it. You guys are going to get out on that field. You guys are going to put your best foot forward. What do you want the opportunity to showcase in these next 3 days that you maybe feel that you didn't get really the chance to showcase during the season?
One of the things I do want to showcase is my speed.
You look like a fast guy.
Yeah. going for 4-3.
Hey, yeah.
Don't quote me on it. But one of the things I'm definitely looking forward to showcasing is my speed. I showcased that through the first 5 games that I did play. More explosive, just being more explosive, just being around a quarterback more is one of the things I do want to display while I'm here.
Now, when you guys go into that room with the NFL scouts, me personally, I've interviewed for jobs, management positions, borderline being the guy that runs like a small business, and those interviews are intimidating, right? So when you go in there and you're sitting across from a scout, like what's your mental state? Do you prepare for something like that?
Yeah, I do. I don't know how other guys prepare, but I'm in the mirror.
I was going to ask, you look like a man in the mirror guy. Like, yeah, hello, sir. It's a pleasure to meet you. Ask me anything.
I look up some of the questions that I think that they're going to ask my agent, because he's been around the game for so long, so he might have just a second opinion on some questions they might ask. So I try to gear some of my answers around the type of questions that they might ask. But it's definitely a scary experience.
Oh yeah,
just the amount of pressure. Yeah.
Well, if you had to compare what you're about to step into to a moment from a game, is there anything that you can really side by side relate that to, or is it a completely different body of water?
It's completely different. The first thought was my Arizona Bowl that New Mexico State won last year. I thought about that, but then it's a totally different ball game.
So you're not going in there like, all right, when I sit down, man, it's we got a minute 40 left. We get this first down. They don't have any timeouts. We're going to win this thing. We're going to get in victory formation. He's like, that's how I got to go into this. I know that was a very specific scenario for you right there.
It's really not a feeling I can compare it to. Only thing I can say, I'm just trying to prepare myself the best way I can. I'm sure my friend here, Kevin Thompson, that you just interviewed, he have a few words and words of encouragement and different advice he can lend me.
Hey, it's good to have friends like that, man. I don't fault you there at all.
Yeah, we actually started from junior college together in Ellsworth. I redshirted there, and then I ended up transferring, and I met the next guy you're going to interview, Ron LaForce, at my next junior college in California.
That's awesome, man. So with you, kind of the same questions, but I'm going to switch them around a little bit.
Okay.
I asked Kevin, what he wanted the scout to take away from the interview. What do you want to take away from your one-on-one with the scout?
I want them to take away. He's big on just big high character guy. I want them to take away. He's well oriented. He's know how to talk. Just a all around good guy. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, hey, I wish you nothing but the best. He is Deshawnte Lloyd, New Mexico State, man. You go crush it in there. Go now that you're all loose.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, we are here with Adonis Davis, Florida Tech. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Doing great, man. It's been a long day already, and you guys, I can only imagine, a couple of seminars. How'd that go?
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was a great learning experience. They have a great deal of people coming in, teaching us a lot of good information early on in our processes. So, it's really good, and I appreciate everything it's doing for us.
So what brought you to CGS? Was it word of mouth, a player that maybe made it to the next level that came from here, or anything like that?
It was actually one of the directors, Mike Riddleman, I believe that's his name.
Okay.
He just encouraged me to come. I checked out the program and everything it provided, and I was like, that's a great opportunity, and I want to take full advantage of it. And he gave me some time because he actually contacted me during the season. I was like, right now I'm just focused on my senior year. And he's like, all right, I'll give you some time. After the season, just hit me up. So, he gave me that time that I asked for, and I appreciate that. And so I decided to come.
I feel like this is the timing of the event, being the first event of its caliber. It's the first combine-like series of showcases in the calendar year, right after the new year. That it's only for the guys that really want to make sure that they've exhausted every option. You feel like that's about where you're at right now?
For the most part, it's a great event. So coming into it in the new year, it's not too early after your season. It's not too far after your season. So it's a great place to come.
Feeling fresh, feeling loose, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Now, what position are you?
I'm a defensive end, outside linebacker.
I love defense, man. I think it's been all defense this morning so far with these interviews, but it's okay because, you guys are the ones that win the championships.
Definitely.
What do you like most about being a defensive end?
I can get after the passer for the most part, but I can definitely change the game, and that's what separates defensive end from every other position because every play you have a chance to change the game with a fumble, a tackle for loss, or a sack. So, defensive end is a game-changing position. That's what I like most about it.
Now, you guys, there's so much that goes on, right, with when it comes to ball is snapped, you get through. You can sack the quarterback. You can cause a fumble. You can scoop up the fumble. But rarely can you do all three. Usually it's a group effort, right? Mm-hmm. One guy gets to the quarterback, the other one maybe knocks the ball loose, and then another guy scoops it up. So for you, what kind of feeling is that to be either any part of the three, the process, or is it sort of that moment, that kind of dream that you chase to be part of all three, or at least a strip sack and come up with the ball?
So I've been close to. I had a strip sack. I recovered a strip sack, and I also did the whole thing, but I missed my recovery. So
oh man,
I know it was a house call too, and I just missed it. But
wow,
yeah, it was one of the feelings and just getting the feeling, you just know to get the triple whammy with it. It's just an ultimate feeling.
Yeah, the trifecta.
You get all three. You can't lose from that. So, them are just great feelings that you will never forget. It's nothing you can do to replace that feeling.
If you hit the trifecta and you recover and you take it to the house, do you have any thought whatsoever about what you're going to do in that moment? You got a dance routine that you've practiced? Or if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this right.
No routine. I'll keep it simple. I'll go back with my teammates, celebrate with them for the most part, but no routine. I just want that feeling again.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. So, my time slot here is before you guys go and interview with the scouts, which I'm fine with because this interview right now that you're having is going to be very different than the one you're about to go into. Are you a mental prep kind of guy? Do you feel that you need to go in there with a certain mindset?
The mindset's already set. It should have been set a long time ago. So, and going into these interviews, I'm more relaxed now. I had a few during my season and after the season, phone calls. So, I'm just more so excited to see what the teams have to say to me. And, questions is easy to answer. Just answer them truthfully and honestly, and everything else going to fall into place.
Yeah, and I always wonder about that when we're talking about an interview for something of this caliber.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can interview for a job, but you're not interviewing for a job. You are, but you aren't. It's like you're interviewing for an opportunity to change your life, and not that a job can't do that, but we're talking about something way, way different. And so when you get interviewed, a lot of us, if we've had a job, we know the answers that they want from us. Mm-hmm. If you saw a coworker stealing, would you say something and be like, absolutely, it's against company policy. But in the back of your mind, you're like, I ain't no snitch,
Yeah.
But for you, sitting across from an NFL scout, can you be anything other than honest? Is there another version of yourself that you feel like you would want to sell them?
You just want to show them that you're going to be honest, but at the same time, you just want to give them the most honest thing about yourself. You just want to truly show who you are, even if whatever it means. They may ask you, what would you do if you see somebody stealing? You should truthfully answer that question. I should be answered. So give them a true feeling of who you are, just because at the end of the day, that's who they're going to get, and you want to give them that true that truthness into that conversation.
So it's kind of a series of events this week. You've got, obviously, the seminars this morning, a lot of knowledge out there. A lot of you guys I know have heard that stuff before, but some of it you can't hear too many times. And there's a lot to be taken away from that. And then, of course, you're going to have the scout interviews, and then you're going to go out onto the field. You're going to put on the pads, and you're going to show off. What part are you looking most forward to?
Of course, playing football, but you can never have too much knowledge given to you. So the seminars, I was really happy to be a part of, just because, I heard these things before, but you're hearing it again, and you're hearing it from a different point of view. So now it just makes it even more significant to your process and let you process everything. I was taking notes in there. I heard it before, but I want to really hear it again.
It's the morning before interviews with NFL scouts. Absolutely.
So, you just want to hear them things and just keep you going. Just give you continuous homework you can do on the side. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to the game. Not the game, but the practices.
So let me ask you this then. The schedule's made. The series of events are going to fall how they're supposed to. But I know for a lot of people, they might go in with maybe like some kind of a high or adrenaline rush after putting out what they feel was a top-tier performance from themselves out on the field. But you guys are going to interview first, and then you're going to go out on the field in front of the scouts. So if you had a preference, like, would you want to go out there, show your stuff, and then when they interview you, be like, you saw what I did out there. Like, that's why you can't pass me up. Or do you feel like it's got to be you're interviewing, you can't pass me up, let me show you why? Like, is there really a big difference? Do you have a preference if you could change it around?
If I could change it, I'll probably keep it exactly how it is, just because, you can have that conversation first, get everything out the way, then let your work finish the conversation.
Kind of feel like a weight's been lifted off your shoulders, and now you can go out there. And
you don't have to go out there and be still thinking about, dang, you're going to ask me about that play later. Just go out there, have fun, enjoy it, enjoy the moment. Don't get caught up in it, and enjoy it.
It's probably better this way. You don't need somebody going out there and knowing that the interviews are later that day, and they go out there. They're a corner just to throw out a random position. And they have a great performance. They walk through that door, and they're like, I'm the greatest corner in the game.
So, keep everybody level-headed just because they're always watching.
Yeah.
Just keep everybody honest.
Well, hey, man, I wish you the best of luck. Go kill it in the interviews, and, best on the future.
Thank you. You too.
Appreciate you stopping by.
No problem.
All right, we continue our interviews from the first day of the collegiate athletes, but technically day number 2 of the College Gridiron Showcase. I'm joined now by James Brania-Hopp of Washburn. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. What brings you to CGS?
Just looking for an opportunity, to get noticed by scouts and NFL and all that, and wherever else.
How'd your college career go, do you feel?
I think I was like a late bloomer.
Late bloomer?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Late bloomer. So that kind of got me here because off of my senior year. So I think it was a good learning experience.
What position you play?
Wide receiver.
Wide receiver. Okay, so I think we officially have our first member of the offense today. I've been talking to nothing but defensive guys. Apparently they got something to say, but you do not strike me as a wide receiver. You're quiet.
Quiet. Really, that's why.
Wide receivers aren't quiet, man. Come on.
I don't have to fit into, I guess.
Hey, I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good answer. You're going to have to use stuff like that when you go in with the scouts. You ready for that?
Yeah, I'm excited whenever my name's called for that.
Yeah? What do you think they're going to ask you? Like, what do you think they're going to want to know about you that they won't see on the field?
They're probably going to be asking me a little bit about, since I'm coming out of a small school, if I believe I can compete with them, and probably about my height and stuff. If I think it's going to slow me down, and then they want to know my speed. So, but you can never really prepare for what they want to know.
Have you, for the stuff that you feel that you can prepare for, have you, prepared the way that you want to give those responses so that you're not kind of, stumbling over words like you would for maybe a job interview? Is that kind of the approach you've taken to something like this?
Yeah, a little bit. Some of the people I got in my circle I've worked with, they've made sure I know, just little things here and there, just prep me for it. But I can never fully prepare. Every team might want to know something different from you. So.
Yeah, I hear that. So when it comes to walking in there, sitting down, and they ask you, do you feel you compete? Have you prepared prepared that answer because that was the first one that you mentioned, and obviously I think that probably has to be the mentality, right?
Yeah, I believe I would just tell them that I could believe I could compete at every level.
Keep it
regardless.
simple. Yeah, man. No reason not to. When you go out onto the field, though, because obviously this is kind of a three-parter. You guys had some seminars this morning, and now you guys are doing interviews with scouts, and you're going to go out there and you're going to do some showcasing. I mean, what do you want them to see?
That just that competitive edge and just a lot of technique in my route running, and I want them to see a lot of stuff that can translate over to what they would want in their offense.
There's a lot of guys going from the collegiate level to the pros. Sometimes, even during college, they'll find that maybe there's a different position better suited for their skills. We see a lot of that when it comes to the wide receiver position because you guys can also play corner or safety. Have you tried either? Is that something that you'd be open for, or are you the guy that's going to be doing the touchdown dances?
I think you could do that on both sides, but I'd love to be on the offensive side doing that, celebrating with all the guys, or all those new celebrations you can do without getting penalized. But I'm open to whatever if they think that that's where I need it to be, but I think they're probably going to keep me on the offensive side.
Yeah, because I remember, I always loved playing wide receiver, and there would be a few times that I would do corner or safety, and it's a different mindset. With the wide receiver, you're trying to make the play. With the safety or corner, you're trying to stop the play. You're trying to prevent the play from happening. Are you a guy that likes to go out there and make it happen?
That's kind of why I like playing wide receiver. I like being the guy to go make that play. I know the play's coming my way. Dictate what's about to happen and make them look bad.
Break ankles and juke them out of their shoes, man.
All that stuff.
I hear that. Oh, that's good. Yeah. Well, seminars this morning, and I know for a lot of you guys, you've heard the stuff before, but I don't know at the smaller schools if you guys get that kind of, knowledge dropped on you as far as finances, financial tools, and then what maybe scouts are looking for or at the draft. What did you take away from this morning? Because that's kind of the tone that they wanted to set for you.
It was an eye-opener for a lot of the financial stuff, which it isn't really – I think it was kind of a surprise to a lot of guys, but especially for me at my school, they don't really expect a majority of people to really have an opportunity after college. So there was a lot of new stuff put out to me. It was interesting. Good to know.
What do you think is a question that could catch you off guard if one of the scouts tries to, shock you?
Well, I wouldn't know because I couldn't name something that would get me caught off guard. I'd have to know.
See, that right there, that's the kind of mindset you got to have. You're just like, well, I wouldn't know because it hasn't been asked yet.
Yeah.
But there's been a lot of leaks as far as over the years. They've gotten more and more in-depth with the combine and scouting and draft and what kind of questions they get asked. And one of them was if you were going to kill somebody, would it be with a knife or a gun? And that's such an odd question. If they were to ask you something like that, do you even know how you would respond?
Well, I wouldn't want my response to be out online if I were to answer that. So
good play there. Good play.
I wouldn't answer that right here.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, man. Well, you guys have some events coming up these next few days. You guys are going to go in there and knock out these interviews, and I just want to wish you the best of luck, man. I really appreciate you taking the time.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Good luck, man.
Thanks.
All right, we are here with Cardell Rawlings of Wingate. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Getting to know you guys on the fly, little 10-minute chunks here, and it happens to be right before the important interview, which is one-on-one with Scout. Is that set in yet? You're about to sit across from an NFL scout.
Yeah, man. It's definitely a great feeling to have.
Are you prepared for that? Because a lot of the guys that I've talked to so far, and you're probably going to be my last one today, everybody after you is probably going to be like, how'd the interview go? So with you guys, it's not a job interview, but it is.
Yes, sir.
A job interview, you get the same questions every time. But
sir.
This is an interview. They're going to maybe try to catch you off guard. They're going to try to get to know a little bit more about you, find out stuff that they won't see on the field tomorrow. And I don't know how somebody prepares for that. Do you have an agent or somebody, coaches that have coached you through what they might ask you and how to answer?
Well, yeah, I actually heard that various coaches and scouts ask questions pretty much off the wall. It's hard to pretty much put it in a category. They can ask a question like, "What's your favorite number and why?" or things of that nature. And you have to have pretty good response as well. So it's really hard to prepare, like you said, but you just got to be ready.
There's a lot that can happen at that table, and what do you want them to take away from that interaction with you?
Just see that I'm real honest and upfront and quite determined in everything I do. Just confident in me.
This is one of those things where honesty is best policy for you?
Definitely. They take pride in it.
Because I was talking with one of the other guys, and I said, with the job interview, they ask you a question, and you know what answer they want to hear.
That's true.
The example I used was, if you saw a fellow employee stealing, would you report that? And your answer is absolutely. That's against company policy, and that's wrong.
Yes, sir.
But in the back of your mind, you're like, I'm not ratting anybody out, man. What you talking about? So, but this is much different. It's your future. It is a chance at greater things, to say the least. So you believe that to answer every question 100% honest, so that you are painting the best picture of you, is the right approach.
Yes, sir. Honest and elaborating well, like being very detail oriented. I feel like it's very important.
I can see that. Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of guys that have gone into today with a different approach. A gentleman I talked to was kind of dressed up. He said, I want to look as best I can, even though I know that I'm not going to wear a suit out on the field. It's just one of those kind of impression things. And for you, I feel like you're a guy that probably wants to let not only your words speak, but your actions out on the field. Are you excited for tomorrow? Put on those pads and do your thing?
It's always a pleasure to put on pads. You can never go wrong with that feeling.
So what are you hoping to accomplish tomorrow and while you're here that you haven't had the chance to? Because this is, first stop of a lot of what you guys are going to be doing for the next several months. And you guys are coming out swinging right after the new year.
Yeah, I mean, with you saying that, it's definitely a great start to the new year. I feel like with having a lot of scouts around, it's a great platform. So just showing the scouts that you can come out and perform well after the new year with new guys you've yet to see or know well, and just show that you're comfortable in an environment you had to adapt to would just be great for me to them. So just showing them that I'm me and I'm pretty confident in what I'm doing and just eager to play, man, and love the game. Just demonstrating my passion, I feel like that would be important.
What position are you?
I play linebacker, both inside and outside.
So we went all but one on the defensive side of the ball today. I don't know what it is. You guys apparently on defense have something to say, something that you want to get off your chest, I guess. But you guys are talkers, and I'm all right with that. But linebacker is one of my favorite positions. Patrick Willis was my guy.
Oh, yeah.
And, I love defense for the fact that it's one of the only times during the game of football that you can actually count on. Well, you can't count on it like with offense, but you know that when there's that moment that happens, you're going to jump off your couch.
That's
because
true.
It's that momentum swing, right?
Yes,
it's
sir.
that game-changing moment. Interception, a sack, something.
Yeah.
And I feel like some of those moments get a bigger pop than a touchdown, 60, 70-yarder even.
That's
and
true.
Is that why you love defense?
Yes, sir. It's all about the explosive plays, just like that feeling of a 3-and-out or a strip sack or getting the ball in your hands for once. Is just like, man, I did it. Let's do it again.
Because you hear a lot from the offensive guys, try to stop me. You seem like a guy that's going to be like, I'm going to stop you.
Yeah, I laugh at that. Good
Come
joke.
my direction. Let's
go. Most definitely. Yes, sir.
How do you feel your college career went?
It felt like it went pretty well. Like each year I progressed more. Like my senior year, I did a lot of great things. I broke a lot of records there. I was leading nationally in both tackles for loss and sacks. I also was awarded the Consensus All-American, first-time defensive player in my school's history. Just a lot of great things I was able to accomplish in my last year. I feel like I really went out with a bang. I was awarded the Defensive Player of the Year of the conference and also the Defensive Player of the Year of my Super Region 2, which has some good players in it, I would say, for myself. So, I mean, the accolades and just things I've done, I say went well for me.
So you're passionate, you're talented, decorated, and you've got some good things on the resume so far. So for this, I mean, bowl season just ended. We haven't even had the championship yet. We're a week into the new year, and you guys are here in Fort Worth, Texas. It sounds like you're the kind of guy that feels like an opportunity is an opportunity is an opportunity. Is that what brought you to CGS, to make
Definitely.
sure that you had everything out there on the table that you could?
That's true, man. Just understanding the platform and the opportunity I have at hand and just trying to optimize what's here. I feel like it was a perfect chance.
Is there anything that you're hoping to do while you're here this week that you maybe didn't have the chance to during your college career?
If anything, just impress more. Maybe turn the head I didn't. Just maybe gain the attention of a guy or a scout that I didn't have beforehand.
Well, I'll tell you, the scouts are going to be watching. I'm going to be watching too. The belt here on the table is actually my little thing. I like to go to different games, and if I'm there, I look for the player of the game. And sometimes it's not even a performance throughout the game. Sometimes it's a moment. If your defense needs a stop in order to win this game, and seconds are ticking away, and they're in field goal range, and that guy gets a sack that takes him out of it, or he gets a fumble recovery or a pick. Sometimes it's that moment. It's just like you change the game. And so we're going to be watching, and we're going to be doing kind of a player of the day, a guy that goes out there and busts his ass the best. So we'll be watching, man. And hey, best of luck to you, man. It's been a pleasure.
That belt looks nice.
All right, man. You take care.
You too.